Listen to me carefully, because this might be the last time you hear the truth spoken without sugarcoating. The world doesn't care about your excuses, your pain, or your laziness. The world rewards strength, discipline, and power. Every single person depending on you, your family, your woman, your brothers, they don't need another weak man who complains. They need a leader, a rock, a protector. And if you can't be that man, then someone else will. You've been told to take it easy, to relax, to find balance. That's the language of weakness. Men who talk like that are already defeated. You think the man your family admires became who he is by relaxing? No. He became powerful because he embraced pain, conquered his fear, and killed every ounce of weakness inside him. Every man has two voices. The weak voice that says, stay in bed, it's fine, and the strong one that says, get up and earn it. The weak voice destroys empires. The strong one builds them. You've got to decide which voice runs your life. Weakness isn't about crying or feeling emotions. It's about surrender. It's when you know what needs to be done and still don't do it. Weakness is sitting there, scrolling through your phone, envying men who actually took action. Weakness is comfort disguised as peace. Kill that. Kill it now. Because here's the truth. Nobody's coming to save you. Not your parents, not your boss, not your friends. The world is testing you. Every failure, every betrayal, every night you felt alone, that was life asking, are you strong enough yet? The answer has to be yes. You rise by force. You fight back. You build yourself into someone so unshakable that when people see you, they feel safe. They feel led. That's what being a man means. Let me make this clear. Power is not given. It's earned through suffering, through discipline, through saying no to comfort when every cell in your body wants to quit. That's when you separate yourself from the weak. Weak men look for pity. Strong men look for purpose. Weak men seek attention. Strong men build empires. Weak men wait for opportunity. Strong men create it. You want respect? You want loyalty? Then stop acting like the world owes you something. Nobody owes you anything. You owe it to yourself to rise. Every morning you wake up, ask yourself, who needs me to be strong today? Maybe it's your mother, your brother, your girl, your future kids, whoever it is, they're counting on you. You can't protect, lead, or inspire anyone if you're still at war with your own weakness. Kill it. With discipline, with consistency, with self-respect. Weakness is not your destiny. It's your decision. Every time you hit snooze instead of getting up, every time you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, every time you let fear dictate your choices, you are choosing weakness. You weren't born weak. You were born limitless. But somewhere along the line, you were taught to settle, to play small, to accept mediocrity as normal. You were told it's okay to fail, okay to be average, okay to live quietly in the shadows. That's the biggest lie society ever sold you. Weakness is not a genetic flaw. It's a habit, a mindset, a comfort zone you've built brick by brick every time you avoided doing what needed to be done. And the only way to kill it is to stop feeding it. Look around you. The men you admire, the ones who command respect, power, and loyalty, they weren't handed strength. They built it. They built it through choices that hurt, through sacrifices no one saw, through nights when quitting felt easier. The difference between you and them isn't luck. It's decision. Every moment of your life, you're either building strength or surrendering to weakness. You can't do both. Weakness thrives in the dark corners of comfort. It lives in your excuses. It hides behind your emotions. It whispers to you when you're tired, you've done enough. It tells you to rest when you haven't earned it. It tells you to take it easy because you deserve a break. But that's not self-care. That's self-sabotage disguised as peace. You want to kill weakness? Start by calling it out. Every time you make an excuse, recognize it. Every time you feel lazy, fight it. Every time you want to quit, remind yourself that quitting doesn't make life easier. It just makes you weaker. You have to rewire your mind to see weakness as the enemy of your potential, your dreams, your future, because that's what it is. Weakness isn't harmless. It's silent, but it's deadly. It steals your ambition, your energy, your confidence. One small compromise at a time. You say, I'll do it tomorrow. And before you know it, tomorrow becomes next week, next month, next year. Weakness feeds on time. Strength feeds on action. You can't conquer weakness by thinking about being strong. You conquer it by acting strong, even when you don't feel like it. Every rep in the gym, every extra hour of work, every time you stay disciplined while others slack off, you are killing a part of that weakness inside you. It's not about being perfect. It's about being relentless. Weak men chase motivation, strong men chase purpose. Motivation fades, but purpose burns forever. When you have a clear purpose, a reason to wake up, to fight, to lead, you stop negotiating with weakness. You stop asking yourself how you feel and start asking what needs to be done. That's where power begins. You've got to remember this. Strength is a byproduct of struggle. You can't build it sitting still. Every time life tests you, it's giving you an opportunity to choose who you want to be. The man who folds or the man who fights. The weak one who complains or the strong one who adapts. Every small victory matters. Every moment you resist the urge to quit, you grow stronger. Every decision to act with discipline, you raise your standards. And when your standards rise, your life follows. Weakness dies when you stop tolerating it. This is your wake-up call. You've been living too comfortably, too quietly, too safe. Safety is where dreams go to die. You don't grow in safety. You grow in discomfort. You grow when you force yourself to move, when everything inside you says stop. The world doesn't reward the man who tries. It rewards the man who decides. So decide now. Decide that weakness has no place in your life. Decide that every breath you take, every step you make is another strike against the version of you that held back. You don't need permission to be powerful. You just need to stop apologizing for it. Weakness is a habit. So is strength. The question is, which one are you feeding today? Discipline is the weapon that separates men who dream from men who dominate. It's not about doing what you want to do. It's about doing what must be done, whether you feel like it or not. The truth is, every man wants to be strong, respected, powerful, and successful, but very few are willing to pay the price. That price is discipline. Discipline doesn't care about your emotions. It doesn't care if you're tired, bored, or uninspired. It's a contract you sign with yourself, a promise that no matter what happens, you'll show up. Because showing up is half the battle, and staying consistent is how you win wars. The man who has mastered discipline doesn't need motivation. He creates momentum from within. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're telling your mind who's in control. Most men let their emotions run their lives. They eat when they're stressed, sleep when they're unmotivated, scroll when they're lost. They let weakness disguise itself as rest. But disciplined men, they move with precision. They wake up when the alarm rings, they train when others are sleeping, and they work when others are talking. That's why they rise. Discipline is the foundation of every great man you admire. It's the quiet force that builds empires while the world sleeps. You can't fake it. You can't shortcut it. You eat. Her have it or you don't. And if you don't, life will expose you. There will be days when your body screams to stop, when your mind tells you to quit, when comfort feels like the smarter choice. That's where most men break, but that's also where strong men are made. Discipline begins when motivation ends. Anyone can act inspired when life feels good. True power begins when everything feels heavy and you still move forward. That's when you realize discipline isn't about punishment. It's about freedom. Freedom from fear, from regret, from weakness. Because the man who controls himself controls everything. You can't buy that kind of freedom. You earn it through consistency and sacrifice. Every decision you make either strengthens your discipline or weakens it. It's built in the small moments, the ones nobody sees. When you choose the gym instead of the couch, when you choose focus instead of distraction, when you choose growth instead of comfort. Discipline isn't one big act, it's thousands of small choices stacked together until they become unbreakable habits. And those habits are what make you unstoppable. Weak men rely on luck. Disciplined men rely on structure. Weak men hope for opportunity. Disciplined men create it through preparation. That's why the disciplined man never fears failure. He's too prepared to be broken. When you live with discipline, you move differently. Your energy commands respect. People can feel it in your presence. You speak less because your actions speak louder. You don't need validation because your results validate you. And here's the real hook. Discipline doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. It rewires your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles and start seeing yourself as someone who delivers. The moment you start keeping promises to yourself, your confidence grows. And confidence is the ultimate currency in life. Think about it. How can you expect others to trust you if you can't trust yourself? Every time you skip what you said you'd do, you betray yourself. But every time you stay disciplined, you rebuild that trust. You create proof that you're capable of more. That proof is what gives you power, not talent, not luck, proof. Because when your brain knows you follow through no matter what, it stops doubting you. That's when self-belief becomes unshakable. Most people waste their entire lives chasing motivation, waiting for the perfect moment to start. The truth? The perfect moment is a lie. You start now, and you make it perfect through repetition. Discipline turns chaos into order, fear into fuel, and dreams into reality. It's the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Every rep, every early morning, every hard choice, that's your armor. So when life hits you, you don't flinch, you execute. Because you've trained yourself to move forward no matter what. That's what separates men who talk from men who conquer. Discipline isn't just your weapon, it's your identity. And once you have it, no one can take it from you. Pain is not your enemy, it's your instructor. It's the invisible hand that shapes every man who ever achieved greatness. The truth is, comfort builds softness and pain builds power. Every time you run from pain, you're running from your own evolution. You're avoiding the exact pressure that could turn you into the strongest version of yourself. The world has lied to you. It told you to chase happiness, to avoid struggle, to find ease. But here's the harsh reality. Men who chase comfort never grow. Men who chase pain, who use it as fuel, become legends. The man who learns to endure suffering with purpose can't be broken, because he stops fearing what others run from. When you start to see pain as a tool instead of torture, everything changes. Pain will visit everyone. It's the one constant in life, but how you respond to it decides whether you stay stuck or rise. Weak men crumble under pain because they think it's punishment. Strong men use it as a message. Every setback, every heartbreak, every failure carries a lesson. Pain shows you what needs to change. It exposes your weaknesses, your blind spots, your comfort zones. It's not there to destroy you. It's there to refine you. You have to learn to listen to it instead of running from it. Here's the hook. The most powerful men in the world aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who faced pain and didn't flinch. They didn't beg for sympathy. They didn't look for shortcuts. They embraced the grind. They understood that pain is the price of transformation. You don't grow in peace, you grow in chaos. When life hits you, when people betray you, when everything feels unfair, that's your initiation. That's life asking, do you deserve the power you're chasing? And the only correct answer is to rise. You take the pain, you turn it into fire, and you move forward anyway. That's how men are built. Pain gives you perspective. It humbles you. It makes you appreciate strength because you've tasted struggle. Without pain, success would mean nothing. You think warriors are born fearless? No, they're terrified, but they walk into battle anyway because they've learned that pain is temporary, but weakness lasts forever. The gym burns, but it builds muscle. Discipline hurts, but it builds character. Sacrifice stings, but it builds legacy. The world belongs to the man who can suffer longer because he's trained himself to find meaning in the struggle. That's what separates the average from the extraordinary. Not talent, not luck, but tolerance for pain. You need to stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Because every pain you've ever felt was preparing you for something greater. The heartbreak taught you emotional control. The failure taught you strategy. The betrayal taught you independence. The rejection taught you patience. Every wound carries wisdom, but you only find it if you stop playing the victim. The moment you see pain as a teacher, you become unstoppable. You stop crying about how hard life is and start realizing that the difficulty is what gives life its value. And here's the truth. Pain is the fastest way to find your real self. When life strips you of comfort, of luxury, of fake friends and fake goals, what's left is your raw core, the real you, the man underneath the noise. And that man is capable of anything once he stops fearing discomfort. You can't avoid pain forever, but you can choose what kind of pain you endure, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One builds you, the other destroys you. Most men pick the easy way now and pay later with disappointment. Strong men choose the hard way now and collect peace later. That's the trade. So the next time you feel pain, physical, emotional, or mental, remember this, it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's refining you into something indestructible. Every scar tells a story of survival, of lessons learned, of strength earned. Pain isn't there to stop you. It's there to forge you. And when you finally stop resisting it and start embracing it, that's when life opens up. Lo, one takes ownership, the other waits for a miracle that never comes. You've been conditioned to believe that someone else will fix your problems. You think maybe one day opportunity will knock or luck will finally favor you. But that's not how it works. No one's going to wake you up, push you to train, or force you to chase your dreams. You have to be your own savior because deep down, you know what needs to be done. You're just hoping someone else will do it for you. That hope is the anchor keeping you trapped. It's easier to believe that you're unlucky than to accept that you've been lazy. But life doesn't reward comfort. It rewards action. And until you take full ownership of your reality, nothing will change. Here's the hook. Every second you waste waiting for someone to save you, another man is out there saving himself. He's putting in the hours, sharpening his skills, building his empire while you scroll and complain from the world if you haven't done anything to deserve it. People don't respect words, they respect proof. And proof comes from showing up, delivering results, and staying solid no matter what life throws at you. You can talk about being strong, confident, and successful all day, but until you live it, nobody listens. Respect is built in silence and revealed in results. You don't chase it. You attract it by who you become. Here's the truth. The world is full of men who talk like kings but live like peasants. They demand recognition before they've done anything worth recognizing. They think confidence comes from speaking louder, from acting tough, from pretending they're someone they're not. But that's not how real respect works. Respect doesn't come from ego. It comes from execution. It's built when you stay consistent while others quit, when you keep your word when others lie, when you grind when nobody's watching. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you gain respect in silence. Every time you break one, you lose it. Here's the hook. Respect starts with you. You can't expect anyone to value you if you don't value yourself first. The way you carry yourself, the standards you hold, the boundaries you protect, that's what teaches the world how to treat you. If you act like your time doesn't matter, people will waste it. If you tolerate disrespect, people will give you more of it. But when you operate with discipline and certainty, you send a message, I know who I am. That energy is magnetic. It doesn't shout. It commands. The most respected men in history didn't demand attention. They earned it by embodying strength, consistency, and integrity every single day. Every man wants to be respected, but few are willing to do the work it takes to earn it. Respect is born from sacrifice. It's the result of choosing long-term goals over short-term pleasure. You earn respect when you push through pain, when you stay loyal to your principles, when you handle chaos with control. People respect the man who remains calm under pressure, not the one who breaks when things go wrong. You want to know who you are? Watch how you act when nobody's watching. That's where respect is built, in the quiet moments when no one will ever know whether you did the right thing or not. The man who chooses integrity, even in solitude, becomes unstoppable when the spotlight hits. You don't get respect from pretending to be perfect. You get it from showing relentless effort. You get it from refusing to quit when quitting is easy. You get it from delivering on promises without needing validation. The world is watching silently. Your friends, your family, your enemies, they're all waiting to see if you'll fold. And when you don't, when you stand firm, they may never say it out loud, but they'll feel it. They'll know. That's real respect. When your presence speaks for you, people follow men who lead by example. If you want others to trust you, to look up to you, to depend on you, then show them what consistency looks like. Show them what strength under pressure feels like. You don't inspire people by talking about success. You inspire them by embodying it. The man who walks his talk doesn't need to convince anyone. His results do the talking. That's why the loudest man in the room is rarely the most respected. He's compensating for what he hasn't achieved. The real alpha doesn't need to prove himself. He just moves with purpose, and everyone else adjusts. Respect is not built in comfort. It's built in discomfort. In the moments you want to quit but don't. In the moments you're doubted but stay focused. You earn it through consistency, not convenience. You show people who you are by how you handle struggle, by how you control your emotions, by how you stand tall when everything falls apart. The man who can't control himself can't command respect from others. So master yourself, master your impulses, master your discipline. Because once you have control, respect follows naturally. You don't have to demand it, you become it. So stop begging the world to see your value. Build it. Stop asking for respect. Embody it. Earn it through your work, your words, and your willpower. Every day you choose to be disciplined. Every day you deliver on your word. You're writing your legacy. And one day when you walk into a room, You won't need to say a word. People will feel your presence and know that's a man who's earned his respect. Becoming the man they depend on isn't about ego, dominance, or control. It's about responsibility. It's about strength that goes beyond muscles and money. It's about being unshakable when everyone else breaks. The world doesn't need more men who talk about leadership. It needs men who live it. Men who can be trusted. Men who can be relied on. Men who don't fold when pressure hits. You must become that man. The one others can look to in times of chaos and know he will handle it. Because when you become the man they depend on, you don't just change your life, you change everyone connected to it. Here's the reality. People are watching you even when you think they're not. Your family, your friends, your woman, your children, they look to you for direction even silently. Every move you make teaches them how to move. If you're weak, they feel it. If you're lazy, they follow it. But when you're strong, consistent, and relentless, they rise with you. That's why being dependable isn't just a role, it's a duty. It's a commitment to being the anchor in a world full of uncertainty. The man who can't control his emotions, his time, or his focus cannot lead anyone. Dependability starts with self-mastery. You can't protect others until you've learned how to protect yourself. Here's the hook. Everyone says they want to be respected, but very few are willing to carry the weight that respect demands. When you become the man they depend on, you don't get to be average anymore. You don't get to quit when it's hard. You don't get to disappear when life gets heavy. You stand tall even when your knees shake. You stay calm when others panic. You think clearly when everyone else is lost. That's the kind of man the world follows. Not because he's perfect, but because he's consistent. Strength isn't about pretending to be invincible. It's about refusing to give up when everything around you collapses. Being dependable means being the foundation others can stand on. It means sacrificing your comfort for the sake of something greater. It means taking responsibility for outcomes even when they're not your fault. Because leadership doesn't come with excuses. A strong man doesn't point fingers, he solves problems. He doesn't complain about what's unfair, he adapts and finds a way through. The man they depend on understands that every challenge is a test, not of his ability, but of his will. And every time he faces one with strength and composure, he earns more trust, more loyalty, and more respect. Dependability is power. In a world where most people can't even rely on themselves, being the man others can depend on makes you invaluable. It gives you presence, authority, and influence. When people know you'll handle things, they trust you without hesitation. That trust is a currency more valuable than money because people follow certainty. They follow the man who keeps his word, who delivers without excuse, who leads through his actions. You don't need to shout or demand loyalty, you earn it through consistency. Every day you show up, you reinforce your reputation. Every time you take responsibility instead of running from it, you separate yourself from the weak. But don't mistake dependability for servitude. You're not here to be a doormat or a puppet. You're here to lead, to guide, to protect. There's strength in being reliable, but there's also dominance in being decisive. The man they depend on doesn't ask for permission. He makes decisions with purpose. He studies, plans, and executes. And when things go wrong, because they will, he doesn't hide. He stands up, faces the consequences, and adjusts. That's what earns respect. That's what builds legacy. People don't remember the man who avoided problems, they remember the man who solved them. Every day is a chance to prove that you are that man, the one who can be trusted when it matters most, the man who holds the line when everyone else falls back. The man who protects, provides, and leads without seeking applause. It's not about recognition. It's about reliability. Because when people depend on you, you become the backbone of something greater than yourself. You stop living just for you and start living for the mission, the family, the vision that drives you. That's what gives life meaning. Being the one others can lean on, knowing you won't break. The world is starving for men like that. Men who can handle pressure, who can stay grounded, who don't fold when it gets dark. So when life tests you, when it tries to break you, remember, they're watching. They're depending on you. Don't give them weakness. Give them certainty. Give them strength. Because when you rise as the man they depend on, you become more than a man. You become a leader, a protector, a force of nature. And once you become that, nothing can shake you again. The world doesn't remember the man who almost made it. It remembers the man who refused to quit. The man who bled, broke, suffered, and still stood tall. So stand up right now. Kill your weakness before it kills your future. Rise as the man they depend on. Not because you have to, but because that's who you were born to be. Strength is not found. It's forged. And from this moment forward, you don't owe anyone an apology for being powerful. You owe them protection. You owe them leadership. You owe them your best self. Because a strong man doesn't ask for the world's respect. He takes it.